run for me over the last 30 years or so. I've won 23 out of the 30 seasons. I've won my last 10 years in a row in the NFL. Actually had a better year in college football last year than in the NFL, but I did win in both sports. And I've got my football package up. And then, of course, the best deal of all is to just get 1 year of football, basketball, baseball, and hockey combined with a little bit of horse racing thrown in as well.
That's right, guys. I get on board with Big Al McMordie over at Pickdawgz. From you see the numbers here, 3,313 years of profit for 2022. Was the top unit producer over at Pickdawgz last for 2021. So get on board. Big Al does have what he calls an MLB Mound Mismatch Massacre up on the board, a 17-5 run. So get on board there. Also, the long-term passes will serve you well. That 1 month all sports pass will get you in action here with Big Al with baseball for a month. Also his preseason, and of course, don't forget the first week of college football in late August. That will be part of the 1 month all sports pass. So a good time to get on board there. Of course, Big Al does put together his college football and NFL football season pass into one. So that you can get on board there. Or if you're just into NFL, he's got his NFL pass season for the season. Now, these passes include postseason as well. So get on board here with Big Al McMordie over at Pickdawgz. Pick one of your passes. Don't forget that promo code AUG15, AUG15 at checkout. Will save you 15% off. That's a big chunk of money here when you get on board with those long-term passes. Don't forget to use it at checkout. You can find Al when you click the link in the description below and then click the All Cappers tab. You'll find him there over at Pickdawgz. Big Al, as always, great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll check you out here on the drive-through here on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be back. Are you going to be here Thursday, Tony?
Yep. I'll be at Catalina Island, so it'll be Chris.
Well, you're number one in baseball, so that's a well-earned vacation.
I appreciate that. All right, Big Al.
Thanks, Tony.
We'll talk to you again. I'll talk to you again next week. Big Al will be back tomorrow. I'll be out for a couple of days. That was Big Al here on the drive-through. Let's continue our coverage. Now, if you missed any of our picks, we're getting people signing in right now. We will do the complete recap here at the end of the show. And what happened is what I was afraid of here. So what I'm going to do here, because Chris, what happened was we did not have the well, make sure. I want to make sure we're live here because we had just. It looks like we did a sign off and a re-sign in. Okay, so we're back. We're on. I wanted to make sure that we were still broadcasting because we did not get the titles changed on the site. And when last time that happened, we were not broadcasting on the YouTube channel, but it looks like we are broadcasting on the YouTube channel over at Pickdawgz. So let's give us some time for some of the people to rejoin us because there had to be for some reason to change the titles. I think they had to stop the stream and restart it again. So we'll continue on here on the drive-thru. Looks like everything's all right now. So let's go ahead and welcome in. Let's see if El Ninos has made it back. So let's go ahead and bring in El Ninos. You'll find him over at Pickdawgz where he does great work there. Let's bring El Ninos in right now. I think we're ready to roll here. El Ninos. There we go, Al. Al, what's happening?
Going good. How are you, Tony?
Doing great. Just as we are broadcasting on Pickdawgz channel. That's good. I just wanted to make sure of that because I guess they had to change the titles there. But anyway, we're going to look at your game tonight at 7 Eastern time as we have the Pirates here to host the Brewers. With the Brewers here, minus 215, total of 8.5.
Yeah, should be a pretty interesting matchup after a huge upset last night. We got questionable at best, I guess, pitching matchup here with Freddie Peralta coming back off from an injury for the Brewers. So I don't expect them to go too deep into this game. And of course, Milwaukee will be one of the best closers in the league, who they just traded away. So I expect the Pirates' offense not the best in the league, but I do expect them to get a couple runs here off this Brewers pitching staff tonight. On the other side, you got the Pirates. They'll have Tyler Beede open for Chase DeYoung, who's also coming off an injury himself. So it'll be his first start in a couple weeks. There, I mean, for his first outing. Sorry, he's not getting this start, but he should get the majority of the innings. So again, nothing too exciting. DeYoung has some pretty impressive numbers in a couple of short outings, quite a few short outings this year. But again, he hasn't gone deep. He hasn't put many innings together. And again, has never put up this kind of numbers before in his career. So I expect this Brewers offense to get to Pittsburgh's pitchers as well here tonight. And I think this total set a little bit low here. I expect a lot of runs in this one. I'm going over the total.
All right, El Ninos here likes the over the total in this one here between the Brewers here and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And looking at this matchup here, for the Pittsburgh hurt a lot of people. I know a lot of people use the Brewers as a parlay piece. I saw a lot of people over on some of the social medias not very happy with the way the Brewers played last night, but that was last night. Tonight is a different game. And of course, we got Peralta and DeJong here. And of course, it looks a little different because it looked like it was going to be Ronzi Contreras here to get the start. But it looks like we're going to get in this one a different, obviously, the different pitching change here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Look like Chase DeJong, as you said. But Peralta is a pitcher who's, he's been pretty much lights out when he's healthy. He does get hurt sometimes with that home run ball. But again, that strikeout rate's pretty strong.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he can be good, but again, not the most consistent starter. And I just think that coming off an injury, he wasn't good in his last start before his injury. He didn't exactly pitch too deep in his outings right now, coming off the injury. So in the minors, so I just don't think he goes long, and I just think for his bullpen, just not quite the same anymore.
No, not the same, but the Pirates bullpen over the past 10 games has played pretty well. We've seen the ERA in the twos.
Yeah, should see. Again, be interesting to see how long they can keep those numbers for. Sorry.
You'll see, because they're going to go deep in their bullpen, especially with Chase DeJong here, activated from the injured list with a knee. Of course, you don't expect him to go too far. But again, in 21 games out of the pen in the area of 2, and we'll see how long it takes Peralta to get there. Of course, probably a pitch count there, and then of course the Brewers bullpen coming in for that's something you got to keep an eye on with no doubt with Peralta, is that what will be his pitch count. And again, the Brewers bullpen has not been at its best.
No, absolutely not. So again, Brewers coming off that disappointing outing. Again, I don't know if the Pirates can pull the upset off 2 nights in a row, but I do think they put up a little bit of offense here, and as I said, the Brewers' offense should do better than they did last night.
All right, we got Ninos here on the. I was just checking to see if we had any text from Rod. We're expecting Rod to sign in shortly here. Brewers, Pirates here, over total of 8.5. This one will have a start time here of 9:40 Eastern time. Let me get the right one up here. This one will have a start time of 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Ninos, let's take a look over at Pickdawgz Premium for tonight. Looks like we've got about 6 games here on the board. We got one starting here in 10 minutes. What do you have going on over at Pickdawgz Premium?
I got my 3-pack still up, and if you're just looking for one big play, grab that single best bet. That's also a part of that 3-pack. But as always, your best deals always those long-term or 2-for-1 capper specials.
All right, guys, I got aboard here with Ninos over at Pickdawgz Premium. Of course, we're running that promotion in August. AUG15, AUG15 will save you 15% off all premium pick packages over at Pickdawgz. Right now, Al has a 3-pack right now going on over at Pickdawgz. It's 3 best bets from Major League Baseball. It is credit guaranteed. That means the picks must show a profit with that 3-pack, or your account is credited for the amount that you purchased for more picks. So there you go, credit guarantee there with Al's 3-pack up there from Major League Baseball. Also individual plays. Of course, the long-term passes up there from Al. You can get a 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. You get all of Al Ninos premium plays for that period of time. You select when you go over to his handicapper page and you make that purchase. So get on board with Al Ninos over at Pickdawgz Premium. And don't forget, with those long-term passes, the 2-for-1 capper promotion at a second capper, even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. Wrong Al. Let me get the right. I always do this once. It always happens. Keep it going, Al, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, have a good one, Tony.
You got it. Al Ninos here on the drive to Let's continue our coverage. Guys, hope we're getting you guys re-signed in here. And, of course, if you miss any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap here at the end of the show. Okay, Rod's running late, so we'll go right to Mitch. Mitch, get ready. We're getting you on right now. We'll find Mitch over at Pickdawgz. Obviously, runs the morning show every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Let's bring him in right now. I need to roll here with Mitch. Mitch, how you doing? Hope I caught you when you're ready. Well, he might have signed off. Okay, so Mitch may have signed off, so it's fine. We'll see. Is he ready to roll? He might be doing something else. So we'll come to me. Let's go to me as we're waiting for Rod here to sign in, and we'll go to my plate then. So let's go ahead and put up my game information right now, and we're going to be looking here at Major League Baseball here with this Angel game here, as the Angels will be facing the Oakland Athletics. Let me get my game card up for you right now. We've got the Angels here, and and Oakland. Angels here minus 230. Total sits here at 7. I'm going to be going with this one. I'll be looking at the Oakland Athletics here at plus 190. Just take the underdog here. I know Ohtani is on the mound. Look, Ohtani is a great pitcher. But Caprillion, the starter for Oakland, 16 starts, ERA of 4.50, his whip 1.29. That's about a contact pitcher at 16%. Walks at 10%. Ohtani, look, he's 17 starts, ERA near 3, whip of 1.02. Of course, the Angels win this opener 3-1. Of course, the Oakland offense has had their struggles. But when you look at Caprillion, the team record with Caprillion on the road against a losing team is 5-0. Now, the Athletics bullpen has held up over the past 10 games with an ERA of 2.93. Caprillion has allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 4 of 5 starts. I am not a fan of this Angels offense. So Caprillion, keep him in the game. We get to the bullpens, and right now the Oakland bullpen is outperforming the Angels. So I'll go ahead and take that big plus 190 here with Oakland here, plus 190 here against the Angels. Caprillion has put up some good numbers in 4 of his past 5 starts, allowed just 1 earned run. I'm not a fan of this Angels bullpen or their offense. So let's hope for a close one here in the later innings and for the Angels bullpen to blow up. So we'll take the Athletics plus 190 against the Angels. This one will have a start time here of 9:38 Eastern time. Hey guys, check out Pickdawgz Premium. Right now, I have my $15 premium up on the board. Turns out to be my best bet of the day. My only premium play today is that one. So get on board, guys. I am the top unit producer in Major League Baseball right now over at Pickdawgz. I hit 6 of my past 7 $15 premiums on the site, so good time to get on board. Also, the long-term passes, 3, 7, or 30 all sports pass. You get all my premium plays for that period of time. You select when you go to my handicapper page over at Pickdawgz and make that purchase. Don't forget to use the promo code AUG15 to save 15%. AUG 15 to save 15%. Of course, my long-term passes, my 1-month all sports pass. You get all my premium plays for 30 days when you go over to my handicapper page and make that purchase. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, let's continue on here with the drive-through now. If you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap at the end of the show. Still don't see Rod signed in yet. I know he was running late. I know there's been some weather where he's been. So we'll go right to Mitch now. So let's go ahead and bring in Mitch. You'll find him over at Pickdawgz every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Mitch, how's it going?
It's going. Definitely most of the action has taken place already today, but doesn't mean, most of the action has taken place because we've got football season starting. And before you know it, NBA, college basketball, NHL, all will be going on just really 2 months.
Yeah,
so
it's all
it takes.
Yeah, preseason starts tomorrow with the Raiders and Jaguars, so there's a lot of excitement here with the start of football. I know it's preseason. I know a lot of people have the notions of preseason. They just like to get the pick of their team, but it's always great, Mitch, to watch baseball and then watch some of these training camps that are running up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are the only ones that watched the bulk of the preseason. And, this is where you really learn about teams because while you're not going to see these guys in week 1, you will see these guys throughout the course of the season, the ones that make the team, because you look at the NFL injury list, week 12. And, it's usually the Indianapolis Colts. It wraps all the way around the corner, right? It's just so many. So a lot of these guys, chance to contribute. Ones that make the team. It's not like the old days where hardly any of the guys from the preseason and training camp make teams. These guys, most of the ones that make it to this point actually do make the team in one capacity or another.
Yeah, they certainly do. Of course, when you look at the offensive linemen, you always see these linemen get hurt. There's always 1 or 2 from both sides of the ball banged up, maybe some not playing. So, yeah, a lot going on here in the training camp. So keep an eye on. Of course, the Buccaneers losing their starting center for the year. That was a big injury.
Yeah, it happens that fast, and we've seen big injuries in preseason and in training camps, throughout time. It's like you just look back a few years. Remember Jordy Nelson when he was gone for the season for the Packers, and you see it all the time. And I don't think sitting guys out of the games or playing them makes one bit of a difference. Most of these injuries take place in camp, not in these preseason games.
Yeah, a lot of the injuries definitely happen in camp. And of course, let's look at some of these players like Matt Ryan in a different uniform. It's a lot of changes this year. Of course, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these guys do. We know the Broncos have a ton of skill position players they've drafted high for a while. It'll be interesting to see Russell Wilson with those kind of guys like a Jerry Jeudy and with Hamler. Who, for a guy that scrambles and creates time like Russell Wilson probably is just a dream come true. Probably a lot like Lockett, who he had in Seattle.
Carson Wentz now in a different environment now where he's playing. Of course, don't forget what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders with the coaching change.
Yeah, we got hammered, you and I, for that for our analysis of that Jared Goff, Carson Wentz draft. But and those two guys going 1 and 2, and it was like, oh, who got the better? It's like neither. They both stink, and here we are all these years later. And my guy lately I've been killing is Trey Lance, so we'll have to see how he pans out. And so far so bad for Niner fans, but they seem to be hopeful, just like I guess Eagle fans were hopeful on Wentz, and we see guys hang on. Josh Rosen, the Cardinal fans, were hopeful of him for a little while. So I think the Raiders, I love the team that they have. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think the Raiders, one of those teams not afraid to cut bait with the guys that are underachieving.
No, and indeed. Of course, I think this backdoor cover guy for the Houston Texans, Davis Mills, was kind of interesting as he came in. I know he broke a lot of people's hearts in that Ram game. That Ram had built up a huge lead and made that backdoor cover and showed some skill for this Texan team. We'll see if it holds up here.
Yeah, he's not bad, but I think there are teams that clearly need a lot of work, and there are other teams that should be making big rises. We look at the Miami Dolphins, my traditional team, and it's the thing about the Dolphins, they've loaded up through free agency, at the offensive tackle, the wide receiver position, even on the defense. So it's kind of, they finally have bought into that, and I think that they did that because they felt they were close enough. They had enough guys and enough pieces that by adding a few more, that was all they really needed. But the problem that they have is in their own division, the Buffalo Bills, and we'll find out on opening Thursday night against the Rams exactly what's going on there.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one here to start off the football season. It was that Bills and Rams game. Yeah, I said, look at the season. Looking forward to it. We've got some really good matchups coming up, and we'll see how this AFC West is really loaded, and so how these divisional races pan out. How if the Cowboys can run away with the division, Mitch.
I don't. They seem to be called to do so every year, and every year they seem to find a way to disappoint everyone. So we'll have to see how it pans out. Ezekiel Elliott last year, the second half of the season, he actually started to play well. Again, it was the first time we've really seen him, be a real threat since his rookie season. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this year for Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll be interesting. Of course, we'll hear at this game here, Mitch, with the baseball top of the hour. Pirates here to host the Brewers. Brewers big favorites, -215, total of 8.5.
Yeah, I like the Pirates on the run line in this one. Today's the type of day where a lot of the big games are done and a lot of the action is done. There's no need to chase, a lot of these big lines. But one thing about the Brewers, 0-7 on the run line following a loss. So, taking the Pirates on the run line, there is some value here. Peralta, coming back here for the Brewers, does he really have it? His first time back. It's always tough, and then if he does, probably on somewhat of a short leash. So the Pirates, certainly an opportunity to at least create some trouble, and all they got to do is come within a run.
Yeah, that's what we do. We got with the run here. Pirates run line +1.5 runs, +110 here against the Brewers here, and that's Mitch's play here. And of course, we saw Milwaukee make that move here with Hader, which I don't know. I kind of scratched my head with that because I thought he was an effective reliever. Yeah, he had a tough month, but with your thought and how that will impact the team.
I think relievers are just one of those positions where the rug gets pulled right out from under you. The decline is steep and fast, and once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't come back. It's not like, oh, this reliever is getting killed and all of a sudden, he becomes, Raleigh Fingers or something. It just doesn't happen. Usually, once it's gone, and maybe the Brewers saw that it's closer to being gone than it is to still being there. And also with Williams sitting there, it was a low risk trade for them, and probably alleviated some payroll.
Yeah, it looks that way. What'd you make out of this trade deadline, Mitch?
I thought it was really interesting. I thought that certain teams, I thought that Seattle had way paid up for Castillo. Today, he certainly earned all of what he was traded for. I thought the Padres gave up a ton for Soto. I think the pressure's on him, not necessarily even the Padres, but more on him. and we'll have to see how that pans out. But the Nationals, you have to remember, we can be critical all we want of them, but this is a team that they have no problem letting superstar players go. And, you look at some of the players that they've let go, Rendon, he's been injured ever since they got rid of him for a lot of money. He got paid. Bryce Harper, they won the World Series the year after he left. Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, the jury's still out on what they got in that one. But, Max Scherzer, not even a member of the team he was traded to. So, it's easy to say, well, you had Juan Soto and Bell. Well, they weren't going to sign him. So it's like the price more than likely was only going to drop because people knew they were going to have to go.
And they got the prospects in return, which they were looking for. Of course, they've had some tough luck with Strasburg. I don't know what his future holds here.
Yeah, it's like I think they did invest a lot of money in him, and I don't know if it was necessarily the right move, but maybe they thought it was the right move for them. Yeah,
someone who I think under the radar here moved that I thought the Twins did really good. I've been high on Male. I think we've talked about this. I've been high on Male in this trade deadline. Twins picked him up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Twins, how it all pans out. That division is far from settled, and is he the type of guy that can put you over the top? It's tough to say. It is tough to say. I thought the Mets did pretty well.
Yeah, the Mets have done well. And, of course, your White Sox and Giolito just hasn't looked like he's got some really good outing recently, but Giolito's been really up and down this year.
Yeah, so has the entire White Sox staff, and right now 2 games over 500, and I think it's the best they've been in months. So they're in striking position, both for the division and the wild card, and you can't say like, oh, their best is behind them because they certainly have played terrible, and for them to be this close, to being in the playoffs, playing this bad, well, got to be somewhat hopeful.
Yeah, and speaking of hopeful, here are these Atlanta Braves that have looked really good here of late. Of course, they had a rough one here against Philadelphia, but Morton's one of those pitchers. It looks like he had a better outing today, but it's interesting to see how their postseason lineup, rotational lineup here as we get closer and closer to the playoffs with Ian Anderson. I
don't love their rotation right now, to be honest with you. I don't know if they're able to repeat with what they have. I think Anderson has never really developed for them, and I'm not convinced that they have it this season. I thought that a couple weeks ago, if you would have asked me, I would have said something different. But right now, I don't think it's going to be the Braves. I just don't. I don't think they're going to catch the Mets.
Yeah, the Dodgers were a little quiet here. They did move Mitch White, which surprised me. But then when you look at all the pitchers coming back for the Dodgers, you can understand they're kind of building. They trade for prospects who are really good. When you look at the players they got in for Mitch White, these guys could be really studs that come 2024.
I think it's been real interesting to see that the Dodgers really haven't had their best team this season, but they have one of the best records that they've had. So, maybe something to be said for the management there, which probably doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, it's true. The way they've been able to hold it together. Of course, they're hitting the ball, hitting the daylights out of the baseball right now here against a team with the Giants, who have kind of had some streaky team this year. These Giants.
I really thought the Giants were going to go out and get Ohtani to be maybe involved in Soto, but they just didn't make the move. They certainly have the money to do moves like that. That's for sure. But I just don't think that they've gotten the production. And while Rodon was named an all-star, I just don't think he has been an all-star for them this season.
Yeah, and of course that Quintana going over to the Cardinals. What do you see for the Cardinals here down the stretch?
I think the Cardinals, it's a lot more to do with the Cardinals than with Quintana coming over there. I think he helps. He adds some depth there, so a veteran that can come in and pitch. And I think even in the postseason that he could do a spot start, in one of the earlier rounds if needed. He could do that. He could also, go in and pitch some relief if need be. He's a versatile guy that's been around the block, and I just think that outside of that, I really liked Adam Wainwright's comments last night after the game. I thought that he kind of he is a Cardinal for life. He's a lifer. He's one of those guys, and he just said, he's like, well, we have Yachty back, and that is a difference maker for us. It's like he might not he might not to you seem like he's the difference maker, but he goes, but for me as a pitcher, it's like it's throwing to a big pillow, instead of throwing at a cardboard box or something, trying to catch the ball. He says it's a gigantic advantage to have a guy like that behind the plate. And he goes, I don't have to worry about checking runners and keeping them all that tight. He goes, because he's going to throw them out. He goes, it doesn't really matter. He goes, and I don't have to worry about pitch outs or anything like that because he's going to throw them out. He's like, with other catchers, you have to worry about that stuff. And then he also said that, he really thought that the, from the guys that he had spoke to, that he thought that the team really believed in their minor league system and the guys that were coming up through the pipeline, and that they had every chance to land Soto, and that they could have had him if they wanted him, that he was theirs for the taking, and they just refused to give, what the Nationals wanted from their farm system because it was too much. And he said, that's because we really believe in what we have. And I thought trading Hader, just showed, that Carlson is ready, to take that job full time in center field. Hader is a guy that anyone would take. He's a good motor guy. He's not like a guy that, lets you down in clutch situations or anything like that. So I just thought that I really liked what the Cardinals did as a team, and then adding the guys back as they continue to get healthy again, like Yachty and Molina. It's only going to help them. I think the Cardinals are going to be tough.
Yeah, of course, Montez going over to the Yankees, and we did Syndergaard with the move.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything from Syndergaard that makes me believe that he's going to be able to contribute. But, back in the National League, back in the National League East, maybe this is where he belongs. And, the Phillies didn't give up a ton to get him. So, and he's only a 1-year contract, so they're not even on the hook for that much here.
No, and of course, we've seen the strikeouts go way down here for Syndergaard. We'll see how that goes. All right, Mitch here on the Pirates run line, +1.5 runs, +110 against the Brewers. And this one will have a start time here at the top of the hour. All right, Mitch, why don't you let us know what's happened over at Pickdawgz Sports Chat Place? Of course, you talked about this great, huge football contest coming up.
Yeah, we have a big football contest coming up, a chance to win $100,000, a chance to win an additional $10,000 if you're the person that refers the person into the contest that wins. So it's a chance kind of for friends to kind of play together, and kind of that's what I would do. Is I would, I'd get all my friends. I still have my helmets from yesterday morning show when I was talking. We were talking vendors at Petco Park, like what kind of concession stands they have, and then we started talking about the helmet ice creams, and I'm like, I'm familiar with the helmet ice cream.
Helmet ice cream.
Yes, I love helmet ice cream. I got no doubles in here, but believe me, it took plenty of doubles to get them all. To get this stack of them. But yeah, I just think, we're doing a lot of stuff at Sports Chat and Pickdawgz. We're trying a lot of new things that we haven't done before. And we've always been innovators, and people have always questioned the way that we've done things and the way that we are. I'm not going to apologize for my behavior. I'm a straight shooter, and you're always going to get honesty from me, whether it be better or worse. Some people like that. Some people don't. Some people appreciate it. Some people are, crybabies about it. And that's just, the way that it's going to be. One thing that's not going to happen is we're not just going to turn our backs and let trolls beat on us or anything like that, or threaten us or do any of those things. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. And it's certainly not what we stand for or anything we're going to stand for. At the same time, all of our loyal people that have been with us for all the years, I think that they know, that that's what they can expect from us. But we've always been innovators in this business. We've always done things that have rubbed people the wrong way, whether it be when we were the first ones to give out free picks on every game, every day. Sports Chat Place was the first ones to do that. And when we did that, believe me, not a lot of people were happy about it. Not a lot of people even understood it. Those same people are doing it now. And just like they'll be doing some of the things that we'll be doing going into the future, our betting tools, something that they can't copy. So they can't copy it, so they'll criticize. And that's okay, because we all know what, the numbers are the numbers and the data is the data. But I'm excited about everything that's happening. It's going to be a big NFL season. Of course, college basketball going to be gigantic as well. I think some of the prizes that we have lined up for the football contest outside of the money, I think are outstanding as well. I think some of the things that we know our audience is really into, they love the bragging rights. And, they just love the bragging rights. So a lot of our prizes are geared towards bragging rights. And I think that'll make it fun. Kind of like, if you're able to accomplish certain things, you'll be eligible for certain prizes that you'll only be able to get that way. Like anyone can get a Pickdawgz hat, but can you get one that says, that you ran the table in week 12 of the NFL season against the number,
Yeah, there you
go. That's the trophy case. And enough people watch our shows, enough people are familiar with our websites that they'll know, they'll know exactly what that means and how hard it was for you to get that. And of course, the champion of our thing, in addition to any cash prizes they can earn, and that stuff, of course, we'll have a championship belt and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm excited about it. One of the things that happened recently is we were approached by the Circa, and they asked us to promote their contest and to do a show from the pool at the Circa. And, I considered doing it, and I turned it down. So I apologize to everyone, from our side that wanted us to do that. I don't know. I just didn't like the way it was presented to me. I like the Circa. I like the contest. I'll be entered in it and all that kind of good stuff. I just didn't want to do it. On the terms that they wanted me to do it.
There it goes. That's the term. That's the devil's time in the details, right, Mitch?
Yeah, it was kind of like I would have done it if they would have been more celebratory of us doing it, as opposed to, well, here we are at the Circa, we're entering the contest. Kind of like we're entering the contest and kind of nothing back from them saying, oh, cool, look, these guys are entering. Meanwhile, they're paying us to enter and to say that, So it's kind of like it's, and believe me, far more than it costs to enter the contest that we were offered to do this. And it was just, I love the contest. I love the Circa. I love the Survivor contest. I like the regular picking contest. I love all that stuff. But I'm not going to sit there and act like, we're, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, big deal. I'm entering the contest. So is everybody else, that's entering it. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and pump it and pretend that I'm any more excited than I am. If they're not excited to have us, if they're excited to have it like a partnership and say, yeah, these guys are here to enter. We're so excited to have, the Pickdawgz family here and all that other stuff. But I mean, for us to be like sitting around the pool doing a show because they gave us a T1 line, I just, I just didn't see the point. It's it's going to be 125 degrees outside.
Yeah, and
here we are sweating by the pool,
and our equipment and our computers will be shutting down and restarting. We'll get knocked
yeah.
into the heat.
So exactly. And I thought it would be fun, for us all to get together and do that. But we can do that. We can do something else. Instead, and I'll throw for it. We don't need the Circa to do it. They were going to give us some rooms and some other stuff, and money and whatever, but something, and it had nothing to do with like that. I don't believe in them or their contest or anything like that. I love them. I love their contest. I like that. I just didn't want to present our brand in that way.
I gotcha. Protecting the brand. That's the most important thing. They built it up.
Yeah, it's kind of like. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm excited. I am excited to enter the contest. They should be excited that we're entering the contest as well. And besides, paying us to do it, they should be saying we're excited to have you guys. That's all I wanted, for them to acknowledge it. And it's like they'll write you a check, but they won't promote you in that regard. Gotcha. And that's okay, And that's the difference. I still love those guys. I think they're awesome. I think it's. I don't love the book either. I like Circa. I like that, but I don't like the idea that you go in there and if you don't have a hotel room, you can't get Wi-Fi for free. You can't even get Wi-Fi in the place. You can't get any reception. It's like, the crap table's $50, minimum. It's like you could play $50 craps, but you can't get free Wi-Fi. I don't understand it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anyways, I'll see you guys at Circa, or any of the books out there, anytime. Tony knows I'm out there in Vegas, and I will be out there plenty this football season.
He certainly will. All right, Mitch, it's always great having you on. Have a great week. We'll talk next week.
Have a great week, everyone.
You got it, Mitch here on the drive. So, guys, if you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap here at the end of the show. Rod has signed in, so if someone was asking about the late game, we got the late game covered. So let's bring in Rod Zawacky in right now. The drive. Rod, what's happening? Rod, are you there? I don't know. We might have lost Rod Zawacky. I thought he'd signed in. We might have lost him. All right, you guys got my pick. I think we might have lost Rod. He might have some technical issues, but we do have his pick. So since we have his pick, we'll give it to you during the recap. So let's move right on to the recap, and we'll go ahead and bring up the show picks. I got Rod on my screen, so if he does get signal, we'll bring him back on again. Might be doing some signal issues there. So let's go ahead and do the recap. I'll bring up the plays from today. And we got to start off here with Chris. Chris liked the Marlins Reds. No runs first inning here at -155. McMordie was on the Rockies +260 against the Padres. Ninos, Brewers, Pirates over 8.5. Rod Zawacky, this was Rod's pick, and he liked the Dodgers, Giants over a 7.5. And Mitch was on the Pirates run line +1.5 runs, +110 against the Brewers. I gave my pick on the segment before Mitch, and that was the Athletics +190 here against the Angels. The one I like the most here, I think that Dodgers-Giants game definitely over 7.5. That's the one I like the most. That'll do it here for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers in from Pickdawgz and Sports Chat Play. Still give out live free picks for the games in prime time. And don't forget, it all gets started every day, 10 a.m. each time with the morning show. You've got Mitch, you got Chris, you got Brian Bittler, 10 a.m. each time every single day. And, of course, the video series up there, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. We have Brian Bittler with his 2 video series every day. We've got Money in the Bank. Also, his Fast 5. You want to check those out. Ron Romanelli with his MLB Rundown. Boy, that is a popular video series up there. It gets tons of views. You guys got to check that one out. He gives out a free pick and a rundown to every game on the board for Major League Baseball. Don't forget about Mills and Brad Francis UFC show immediately following the morning show on Saturday. Of course, on UFC Saturdays. Check it out on Saturday, right after the morning show. Mills and Brad with their UFC show giving out live picks from the UFC. So, guys, check it out. All right, that'll do it for the show. Chris will be in for me here Thursday and Friday. I'll be back on Monday. So make sure you guys tune in to the Drive-Thru. We'll bring in our crew here from today's show. We're going to wave goodbye to you guys. So, you guys, I'll be back Monday, but the Drive-Thru continues here Thursday and Friday with Chris as the host. So we'll come in and support Chris on the Drive-Thru Thursday and Friday.